Are you serious? Are you serious? Welcome to Patreon. And wow, we're going to look at theories. We're going to look at some theories. We're going to look at some stories. But for one thing's for sure, the Bible tells us that Jesus Christ, while on the cross, was pierced in the side by a Roman soldier to check and see if Jesus was alive or dead. Christ had already died. He had already given up the ghost and said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit, and gave up the ghost. He said, it is finished. But they stabbed him in the side with this spear, known as the spear of destiny, and by the Roman soldier. Now, as time went on, there were many world leaders who wanted to have their hands on this spear of destiny. They believed it gave them occult powers to defeat their enemies in battle. And we know that Charlemagne had it for a while. We know that Constantine had it for a while. We know that Napoleon Bonaparte wanted to get his hands on it, but it was sent off to Vienna, where it wound up in a museum over in Vienna, Austria. It stayed there until Adolf Hitler, who as a child used to go there. And he would go to this museum and look at it, stare at it, admire it. He was also reading a lot of occult information as a young kid, so he was really into the occult. He believed if he could get his hands on this, it would give him power to rule the world. Imagine a young child, a young boy in his early teens having that desire. And he even said that out of the box that it was in, that a black cloud came in and entered into his soul. Are you serious? Are you seriously serious? This was incredible information. But yeah, all right, yeah, this is what Hitler believed. Just unbelievable. It says Hitler's first contact with the Spear of Destiny came in September of 1912. September of 1912, when he visited the Hofburg Museum. And here's what he said. I stood there quietly gazing upon it for several minutes, quite oblivious to the scene around me. It seemed to carry some hidden inner meaning which evaded me, a meaning which I felt I inwardly knew, yet could not bring the consciousness. I felt as though I myself had held it before in some earlier century of history, that I myself had once claimed it as my talisman of power, a talisman of power, or an object, a relic, a chargeable object of power, and I held the destiny of the world in my hands. Now later in 1938, when Hitler had come to power and was running the nation of Germany, he annexed the country of Austria in 1938. Hitler had the museum's contents, along with that spear of destiny, moved to Nuremberg, where it would remain for most of the war. But after the war, it was turned into the Allies' favor. Hitler ordered the contents of it to be put in an underground vault where the items would be protected from the heavy bombings. It said that on April 30th, 1945, at 2:10 p.m., advancing American forces took possession of that vault and the Spear of Destiny. This is very important. 80 minutes later, Adolf Hitler died by his own hands in a bunker in Berlin. Now, this is incredible, and this is documented when they found the Spear of Destiny. Matter of fact, the young soldiers that found it knew it was an ancient relic, but did not know what it was until it was handed to General George Patton. He knew exactly what it was and said, gentlemen, this is the Spear of Destiny, the Spear of Power. Well, Hitler dies 80 minutes later. You have to understand that this was an object that people, this artifact, believed possessed great power. Now, the American forces retrieved the artifacts, and it was given to General Patton to return them to Austria. After having the Spear of Destiny, he studied it. Patton returned all the museum's contents, and he prepared for his final trip home. But he didn't make it either, because on December the 9th, 1945, the day before Patton was scheduled to leave Europe for the United States, he was involved in a car crash. Even though the crash was relatively minor, Patton was the only passenger in the vehicle who was not aware of an oncoming crash. He did not brace himself, thus slamming his head into the metal part of the car, paralyzing him from the neck down. He lived for another 12 days when he finally passed away in a military hospital in Heidelberg, Germany. But while these are the only complete accounts of this Spear of Destiny that we are fully aware of and have documented, we know that Harold the Great had the Spear of Destiny. We know that Maurice Manichin had the spear for a while. We know that Constantine the Great had the Spear of Destiny for a while. Theodius, also all kinds of guys. Seriously, Charles Martel and Otto the Great and Charlemagne and Constantine and even Napoleon Bonaparte almost got his hands on it. And he believed that if he could get his hands on it, he would have ruled the world. All of these different fellas got it, ended up with tragic situations. Yes, their power was real temporarily, only to end in tragedy. Now, Patton did not intend on using it for some type of supernatural power or occult practices. But we know that, but he just simply confiscated it, got it, and had it returned to the museum in Austria. But did just simply touching it cause the death of this great general? Or was there a conspiracy to kill General Patton? Some people believe that he was killed by the Russians, the KGB, because Patton said we should go in and take down Russia and end communism now, or you're going to deal with it later. But this was not an accepted strategy by Eisenhower or by Harry S. Truman. And some people think Patton may have been killed by the United States government itself, because Patton was such a powerful figure and that he didn't fit into the political arena of the other guys. So there's conspiracy theories everywhere here. But one thing's for sure, or did some type of a spirit of seriously a death come upon him for simply just handling this Spear of Destiny? Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you this. What are the odds of this spear keep getting passed down into the hands of world leaders who tried to use it and become great conquerors? They believed it had a chargeable effect. They believed it had some kind of occult power. If it could be used for the piercing of the side of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Son of the living God, could it also be used to give them power to conquer others? Well, this is a great, great story, but one we still don't know. And the Spear of Destiny, there's even some that say that the Spear of Destiny that's in Austria, back in that museum where it was taken, that's not really the correct one. And that Hitler was able to have it smuggled out of Germany on U-boats, and that it was put in a secret underground base in Antarctica. Some say that it was on a U-boat that crashed, that sunk off the coast of America, because we know that there was some U-boats that were there with Nazi relics and old artifacts. We don't know if it was on one of those boats or not. It's quite a mystery, but the Spear of Destiny continues to puzzle the minds of many people. And then there's one more theory, that the Illuminati actually has the Spear of Destiny passed down from out of Hitler to these 13 families that really rule the world, that the Illuminati has it, and that the Antichrist will one day walk into the temple of God before the worshipers of God in Jerusalem, in the third temple. He'll walk in with the spear of destiny and declare that he is God. Well, I don't know. I just want to share all this information with you. Leave it for you to decide. Maybe some of you even have some information. Feel free and leave the comments below on this powerful video here on Patreon. And thank you for being a member of this Patreon channel, as we're going to continue to share the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. I mean, we had such a powerful program today, even where we had almost 2,200 people at one time live and 27 salvations. People need to understand that even Satan can have powers in objects, but only Christ has the power to forgive sins and give true victory to humanity. Choose Jesus Christ. Thank you for being a member of Patreon. God bless.